At least I remember to turn the mic on. Hey everybody, welcome to Good Chats. It's 8:15 on Wednesday, or 8:16. But yeah, hey, at least I remembered to turn the mic on this time, or I think I might have just left it on from last time. But welcome to Good Chats. How is everybody tonight? Welcome to Kingsley over in Perth. Thanks for coming on board, mate. Justin Miller, thanks for coming on board too. Mr. Jaximus, Boeing expert. JK, welcome aboard, producer of the show. Ree, thanks for coming on board. G'day, Luggy. And here we are for Good Chats again on another Wednesday night. Yeah, a whole bunch of Adelaideans here, which is unsurprising, given that Good Chats is based in Adelaide. Oh, g'day, smart as marbles. That'd be Zach, I reckon, or Liam, not sure. But Zach, if that's you, thanks for the tour the other day through the jumbo carriage. That was really fun. What is Good Chats? I sometimes don't think I even know what Good Chats is. So if you're here for the first time and you're wondering what's going on, this is just a bit of a channel where I give a bit of an overview of what's happening with Outdoors Type and the channel and what I do in a wider scope as well. It's sometimes about other things other than trains and railway lines as well. And we have a bit of a chat about general stuff. We have lots of people who come on board and who are regulars here at Good Chats. And to be honest, I often learn an awful lot more from the channel than I'm probably given. But at any rate, I'm going to give back a little bit here. Oh, you know what, Zach? That's pretty much what I do because I work in social media and I work in digital media and marketing, and I'm pretty good at putting two and two together, man. So what have you been up to, everybody? Tell us what you've been up to this week. Obviously, I've been up to a lot of things, and I'm going to let you all know and let you all know what's coming up as well. But what have you all been up to? It can often provide some interesting conversation. G'day, Andy Munro. Welcome aboard, sir. And Noel from Coffs Harbour. Thank you from soggy Coffs Harbour. So yeah, look, they were called the Super Trains by the media, lucky, and then they were called the Jumbos by all the in the know train people. So yeah. G'day O'Malley. I was going to say not everyone's here yet. And the Van couple isn't here yet either. I met Dan and Amber on Sunday down at the Railway Museum. It was great to meet those guys too. Hey, Mr. Jacksmith, I was going to mention that I have found the train ride from Mount Gambier to Hayward. So I'm going to talk about a bunch of stuff tonight, right? Love to know what you've been up to again. Let's talk about that. Obviously, we'll talk a little bit about the latest video that I did, which was down at the National Railway Museum for the Behind Closed Doors Day. Then we'll talk a little bit about up-and-coming things, like the presentation that I'm going to do down at the NRM soon as well. So that's going to be damn cool. G'day, Dan and Amber. Welcome aboard. Then Mount Torrens, which I'm playing the video in the magic window there. We'll have a bit of a look at that. I'll talk about that. Last week, in the video that I showed in the Salisbury Red Hill line, I talked briefly about Bumbunga Province, and I'll bring a little bit more info to the table that I learned about Bumbunga Province. What else? Mr. Jackson's, yes, there is potential for a train ride video coming up soon. I've got some pictures because I was down at Jeff's place, talking to Jeff Justice Noddle. He was the last station master at Crawn, and we're working together on this spoken word project, and he gave me a couple of photos, and he also gave me a book, which we'll talk about for Book of the Week as well. I've got some questions as usual, which I'll ask after that. And we'll talk more about what's upcoming, because there's heaps of stuff about to happen as well. It's Volunteers Week this week. Oh, g'day, Luke's Fishing. Welcome aboard from Darwin. So we've got almost coast to coast. Although when History Hunter Dan Under comes on board, we'll pretty much be from coast to coast across Australia. How about that, huh? So yeah, getting right into it. The latest video, which was down at the National Railway Museum. So let me just work out. I didn't get the chance to see the Bluebird while I was running around, but I did get the chance to drive the Bluebird at one point a couple of years ago. Did a video on that, which was cool. So, yeah, no, I just run through what we're doing. So, I'm going to go right ahead. What do I do now? I go and choose the video, which will be the latest video. Oh, man. You can imagine, I got a lot of files here. So hopefully that plays.
Welcome back to Outdoors Type. In this video...
That's not the latest video, is it? And that's not even close to being on the screen. Sorry, bear with me just a sec. We go to that folder. It's not there. Yes, that one. And we find that. And I don't think...
Welcome back to Outdoors Type. We're here at the National Railway Museum to have a bit of a look at a few special carriages and locos here at the Behind Closed Doors weekend. It's an annual event where you'll get to have a look inside some of the carriages and locos that are not normally open to the public. We're going to have a look at the Wegman Lounge Car, once on the Trans-Australian Railway, the Baruta Sleeping Car, which I think was once on the Adelaide to Broken Hill line. We're going to have a look inside a relatively contemporary 2000 class jumbo suburban train set. And we're also going to have a look inside the Woodville Signal cabin.
I don't even know if my ducking is working and stuff.
Beautiful model railway display called West Croydon to have a look at. And we'll jump inside the cabs of Loco 409 and Loco 752. So stick around and enjoy.
JM, that's a good question. Why is it called Quad? I might find out more when I'm there in the next couple of weeks. I plan to be there 6th of June at this stage. So I've got to go. I'm using another laptop here to kind of monitor, so I can kind of tell how Lounge Car AFA 93 was built by Wegman Carriage Builders in Germany. It entered service in 1952. But usually you guys let me know in 1980.
Look at all this beautiful wooden paneling.
I feel like
the carriage here.
I feel like sometimes the files are a bit wooden metal. They can be a little bit old school.
You've got the interesting windows here with the blinds in between the double glazed windows, which would have made the air conditioning so much more effective out there in the heat of the desert.
So I've got to go to the filters. Somehow I've lost the filter. The introduction of these luxury train sets on the Commonwealth Railways resulted in a marked increase in passenger travel on the Trans-Australia Railway. The gathering place for first-class passengers was the lounge car. It's divided into 3 sections: a smoking room, music room, and ladies' reading room.
Can you believe it? There's even some Commonwealth Railway.
Yeah, I'm trying to work out the settings again, sorry.
Let's find out how the compressor effect...
The beautiful big saloon, hanging out with your mates, smoking cigars and drinking brandy, having someone play the piano for you for a rousing good time as you cross the desert.
My piano's a bit out of tune, just like me. I'm working it out. There we go, 3.
Well, that's the Wegman luxury lounge car. Let's keep moving and check out some of the other carriages here at the museum.
Dining car DA52 also operated on the Commonwealth Railways between Port Pirie and Kalgoorlie. It entered service in 1930 and was
hopefully that's working out a bit better now.
1981.
Kitchen here with some great little accessories to go with it as well. All perfect, looking like it's ready to be used.
Just working out the settings. Sorry. 9. Hopefully that...
As we keep moving through, we come to the dining room section of the carriage.
Hopefully I've found the settings on the fly here again. OBS is fun like
beautiful wooden panels.
All of a sudden the settings that you had working
so heavy
really
duty.
well are just freaking gone.
You could be in a cafe in the centre of town or in the middle of the Nullarbor Plain.
So I'm just quickly working it out again. Fine, there we go. Let me know, hopefully that's working. Hopefully we got the ducking, which is the voiceover video set again.
Beautiful detail. Such a contrast to the relatively sterile modern designs. I'm standing inside the sleeping carriage Baruta. We're going to have a bit of a wander through this carriage as well.
Yeah, that video is really loud.
This was the Prince of Wales carriage in 1920.
They're nice lounge chairs, aren't they, O'Malley?
Was
originally built at Islington Workshops way back in 1900. In 1907, it was remodeled at the same workshops to become an observation car. It was withdrawn from service in 1966 after an incredible nearly 70 years service.
That actually feels like real marble. Oh, you wouldn't do that these days.
Yeah, I don't know what those LEDs are in one of those carriages. Not sure why they were put in either. They look like lights, but the original lighting's cool. Locomotive 409 entered service in 1954 and made it to the museum just 16 years later. Okay, alright, I'll turn the sound down on that. I think I've got the ducking working okay now.
We're inside the cab of 409 down here at the museum.
Hey Noel,
She's a big engine, this one.
I'm playing with the settings in OBS, so I'm just adjusting the ducking, as it's called, so how much it lowers the video when I start speaking. And then I'm also just adjusting the sound of the media source that is the video. Well, you know me, I mean, I always am practicing new things on OBS. Recently restored broad gauge locomotive 752 entered service with the SAR in 1951 and was withdrawn just 16 years later in 1967. Like I just realised then that my webcam was sitting below the main video, so now I've just chucked it back on. But like I always say, I learn more. This is an opportunity here on Good Chats to explore more.
Let's take a walk through the jumbo rail cars. Here we are in the cab of the jumbo carriage here at the National Railway Museum. If you ask nicely,
Yeah, I told you you might end up in a video, Zach.
Sit at the driver's seat.
This jumbo rail car set, consisting of trailer car 2112 and power car 2006, was built in 1980. It was withdrawn from service in 2015. Hey Harvey. Officially named 2100 class rail cars, they were dubbed super trains by most people, but railway enthusiasts gave them the nickname Jumbos due to their raised driving cab being similar in some ways to a Boeing 747. I'm actually looking forward to heading up to Steamfest at Mount Barker on Sunday. Hopefully I'll see everyone there. Thanks, Mr. Jacksonmas. There is a long-form video railway tour in the works, my friend. I did find that video of Hayward to Mount Gambier, and we'll talk about whether or not we'll do that as a live train ride in a couple of weeks' time. See you next time. See you, Boeing expert. Take care. Oh no, that's not good to hear, Zach. Yes, I am a very ninja smooth walker, Noel. Not really, it's just the gimbal camera doing a great job. O'Malley, I haven't watched Train Rescue yet. I think that came up at random in my Facebook, and I should have a look.
The original Woodville Station signal cabin. It was moved here to the National Railway Museum in the 1980s, and believe it or not, it still operates and the levers still pull switches. Let's go check it out.
Oh, well, thanks for saying so, Zach. Yeah, no, I think I should probably be doing it smoother, but thanks for saying that. They can walk, Noel, when you hold one. These two guys were funny in the signal cabin the other day. Couldn't stop talking about Manchester.
Well, that's it, folks, and thanks for sticking with me this far. I hope you enjoyed this tour around the National Railway Museum for its Behind Closed Doors event. There's plenty more to see down here at Port Adelaide, and you never know, we may come up with more of it here on Outdoors Type. Thanks for joining me. We'll see you next time.
Carlington Station building. Now, why do I think I haven't seen that building yet? Anyway, let's transition back to that. All right, cool. So we got the magic window going again. I always get the wrong finger when I'm talking to the magic window. Carlington Station building moved to the NRM. Okay, all right. I'm going to have to look that up. I thought I knew everything. Oh, that shed there, right? I get it. Yep. Okay. Okay, so that's interesting. Maybe that was a station master's house in the video that apparently I'm actually going to be talking about on the 22nd of June at the National Railway Museum. All right, shut that up. That's distracting me. Yeah, so thank you for reminding me of that. I'm going to have to rewatch the video as well, just to remind myself of what the F I'm actually going to be talking about. But so that's what we're going to next. So 22nd of June down at the National Railway Museum. Hopefully everyone can come on board. I was originally going to call it Good Chats because I'm going to do it in a format like I normally do this, Good Chats. Hopefully all the old mates from the Good Chats crew can come on down if you're in town. Andy, what did I had something to, there we go, about the decade that saw the most progression in train technology. You know, that's interesting, Andy, that you said that, because there was a suggestion that I do a video on progression of train technology over the years. And so you brought that into mind. And off the top of my head, I would probably say sometime in around the 60s and 70s. I think that's when the high-speed trains across the world, like the TGVs and the bullet trains and stuff like that. So not just talking about Australia, because we're still a long way from seeing anything interesting like that. An Urbex video in the Mallee where someone goes into a station master's house. Okay, now I'm going to have to look that up too. An old Mallee station master's house. Well, obviously we both know some dudes who do some urban exploring out there in the Mallee. And obviously I went out there into the Mallee for a trip, but I think I do have to go back there and explore a bit deeper than I did the first time. Gimbal, yep, with an AL, dude. What else? Oh, you'll be working that. Yeah, look, yeah. So a whole bunch of people, man. I'm lucky enough to have the opportunity to go down there and do that on the Sunday. If I were to do a video on the Peterborough Museum, I will definitely ask about the paranormal activity. Okay, right, okay, yep, I get it. I reckon I know who that would be. That might be Heather or Drew might be the culprits behind that video. We'll find out. Hey, and I'll check it out. What was I going to say? Next thing, right? Is Mount Torrens, the display up there, which I'm running in the magic window at the moment. I might actually just go and chuck that. Well, you can see it in the magic window anyway. that is on again this Saturday from 11 till 3 p.m. In the main street at Mount Torrens. You can go and check it out. There's a few things there that are out of the National Railway Museum collection, and they've done a really good job of piecing together the history of this line. And it was interesting to talk to the people who set the whole thing up there, just how sort of uninterested people are, and how many people don't even know, how many people, even locals, don't know about the Balhana to Mount Pleasant Railway, and just don't seem to really care. It's interesting that should happen. So this is a really interesting exhibition that just brings everything together, and these people are so cool what they've done, especially the model railway setup as well by the local school students. So do go check it out if you have a chance this weekend. There were no train lines out to the quarantine station at Torrens Island. There were no train lines out on Torrens Island as far as I know. There may have been tram lines and stuff like that, but no, they never made it out of there. Yeah, there's a lot of links to be made with engines and locations and stuff like that, Zach, so that will be interesting. In my next video, which I'm going to do on Hawker to Marie, I've actually got a part in my research doc where I might, for the first time, start talking a bit about the kind of engines and the kind of trains that ran along the line. Each video I get a little bit better and I go a little bit deeper and learn a little bit more, and I start to master some things so I can, move out and look at some other things. And so maybe this time I'll start to look at the engines, the motive power, and the kind of train makeups and stuff like that. So yeah, there's lots to see. I did a video on the Balhana to Mount Pleasant railway line a couple of years back now, and more of that old railway line from Mount Torrens through to Birdwood is now being converted into rail trail, including over the old Burford Hill Bridge, the only bridge up that way, and the only old railway bridge up that way in the Adelaide Hills. Impressive old structure. So that will be great to see that extended up to Birdwood. And there's more about that as well there as well. So go see that. Bumbunga, right. Okay. Like I said, in the Salisbury to Red Hill line, I talked a little bit about Bumbunga province, and so I had an image to share of that. Balhana's a beautiful town, JK. Definitely. What have I got? Knowles pics, Bumbunga pics. Okay, so what have I got to do here? They're in my slideshow. I'll just flick back through to the end. Transition over to that. So yeah, okay. So just a little bit east of Lochiel, you'll come across the locality of Bumbunga. And there's a little bit of research. I mean, it's pretty easy to find the Wikipedia link, right? And there's an advertiser article as well about the governor of Bumbunga and Alec Brackstone, and they talked to him when he was 93 years old back in 2018, and he still hadn't given up on his dream, even though he was in a nursing home in Clare, and now apparently these sons own the farm. So God knows what's going on with this bloke. He was a British monkey trainer, uranium prospector, and postmaster of Bumbunga, of Lochiel, I think. And it was in 1976, after Gough Whitlam's government was dismissed, that he was this guy, he was an ardent monarchist. He was part of the D-Day landings and all that kind of stuff. And he was an ardent monarchist, and he was alarmed by the Republican system. Oh, thanks, Zach. I always think I learn more from the people out there in the channel, and book knowledge. So this was heading towards republicanism. So he decided to write to the Premier and the Governor of South Australia, Attorney General, I think, of South Australia at the time, to declare his property a secessionist micronation and call it the province of Bumbunga. So this was until approximately 2000 when I think he went to jail for firearms possession offences. He's been in and out of jail because he refused to participate in elections and whatnot. He self-styled himself as the governor of a British province, and you can see that they released some stamps over the years as well, back when stamps were valuable and stuff. But that didn't work too well. And to prove his loyalty to the British Crown, yeah, look it up, man. Just a couple of kilometres east of Lockhill, where the railway line goes through Bumbunga. Now, where's my next one? Slideshow. Go into that. And yes, he imported tons of British soil, which was obviously contentious for quarantine authorities, to maintain, to start and maintain a strawberry patch out there. I think you can see the railway line in this video. I'm having trouble working out perspectives because having been there, it's obviously a lot has changed. Like I think there's another whole dirt road down there on the right of the image now. And he imported all this soil so UK-loving couples could come up to Bumbunga and get married and say they got married on British soil. So yeah, it's just wacko to think that this guy, as late as 2018, was still writing to the government asking for permission to set up a casino in the province of Bumbunga. Although, as he said in the article himself, he was going to find it difficult to actually fund a casino on his pension. So there you go. O'Malley mentioned that last week afterwards and said, can you find a bit more info on Bumbunga province? And there you go. There's not an awful lot of it, but it is a fun read. I know of Hutt River as well. I think they became more famous than Bumbunga province. But, you know, that I don't know how, you know, secessionist micronations work, hey? There's a subject for the live stream crew to take up, see if we can find any other secessionist micronations around Australia. So, next, yes, I was going to talk about a potential train ride video. So I did find Mr. Jacksmith. He talked about a video taken in, let me have a look, in the 1970s. So it was Haywood to Mount Gambier. It should come up because it's in my history now. There we go. It was filmed in 1992. It's on a channel called The Last Name 2K. It doesn't appear to have posted anything for a few years now, but it's an hour and 55 minutes long. So in the next couple of weeks, I'll probably give you a bit of warning, but we may actually do a video where we do the virtual train ride again, like we did on the Bridgewater to Adelaide trip. But yeah, just a pre-warning, this one is an hour and 55 minutes long. If you want a preview, then just chuck that search into Google, not into Google, into YouTube, and you'll find it more directly, Haywood to Mount Gambier cab ride. And that will be coming up in the next couple of weeks. Now, where are we? I've got a few pictures to share as well, as I always do. I knew you'd like it, a van couple. Yeah, cool. All right. You're in, definitely. Probably in a fortnight's time then. We'll do that. Oh, actually, maybe not a fortnight's time because I have to be out early on the Thursday after Fortnight's live stream because that's when I'm going up to Flinders. Now, I don't know if any fans know Noel Haas out there, but he shared with me a couple of pics during the week after the Salisbury to Red Hill Line video. And so that's just kind of what I do, is just kind of share pics and stuff. There we go. So he wanted to share with me some colour images of the old... Oh, hang on. Family side decided to hand it in... Oh, right, okay. The family side decided to hand it in. The Hutt River Project. Yeah. What do you mean they decided to hand it in? Did they decided to hand it in the province status or something? I'm not sure. Anyway, here is colour images of Nantawara that Noel sent to me. Noel loves his electric staff machines. This is one that he bought, I don't know, for a bunch of dollars. And this is Noel himself and another gentleman. No, he sent me all the names and everything in there as well, but this guy used to be a train driver on the broad gauge line between Adelaide and Port Pirie. From what I've seen, I think he used to be a train driver also on that Bridgewater line that we did the video on. So it'd be interesting to hear from Noel more as time goes by. And there we are at Bumbunga Province again. I've got a photo of Jeff here. Jeff's handed me a lot of stuff, right? Which is a lot to talk about, but I won't talk about it all here. Where are we? I'm going to go back to this. There we go. So this is the kind of stuff I'll be looking at, as we go move into the next video. So that's Noel, not Noel, Jeff Charles Noddle back in the day when he was station master, I think at Warrabara, in one of the last iterations of the SAR uniform. So it'll be interesting to talk to this bloke about his experiences around these stations over the years. He also gave me a photo of... Yeah, I know, right, Zach. And one of the things I love the most, which Jeff shared with me, was his collection of badges and pins. I just love the typography of these old guard badges and porter badges and stuff like that. Okay, the Castley family decided to dissolve the principality. And then I think he gave me an image of I think this was the old station master's house at Quorn burning down. I get some random things sometimes out of the blue, but this is another lead for me to follow. That's it. That is given me. And so while I was down there as well, apparently he had a couple of copies of this book of the week. And that is Broad Gauge Diesel Electrics. Look, those of you who have been around for a really long time know I'm not a massive fan of, yay, another train goes past videos, or yay, another train goes past pictorials. I kind of want to, see a bit more, learn a bit more than that. I'm going to have to ask him about this when I go down and see him next week too. It's actually got something written in there, so I don't know whether that's just his notes about a visit that he did to the Port Dock Railway Museum or something like that. But this is a pictorial I haven't seen anywhere else. It's obviously not available at the moment. It's done by Train Hobby Publications, which was in Victoria. And it was printed, trying to work this out, 2003. Which doesn't seem that old sometimes, but now it actually feels old. And so essentially, huge spreads of diesel trains. I guess mostly, I think this is 900 class. Is that 900 class? Yes, look at me go. It's actually got 900 and something printed on the front of the train, so I probably should have worked that out. Look at me go. There we go. And a few, thanks, Zach. And a few more images as well. I might be starting to get the hang of this engine class thing, but who knows. G'day, come hither with Heather. How are you? Hello, hello. Welcome aboard. Someone was asking earlier, Heather, if I knew of somebody who'd done a video on an old station master who died in a house, or someone who died in an old station master's house in the Mallee. So do you know anything about that? You're the Urbex crew. might be able to point me in the right direction of who did that, because I want to learn a bit more about station masters' houses. So anyway, another thing that's interesting, right, is this book was done in 2003, which now when you think about it was 22 years ago. But gosh, it just seems so long ago now. When you let me know if you've got a link. If you can't think of it right now, just shoot it through on Facebook or something, Heather. That'd be great, and we can talk more about that. You know, that's what I love doing here as well. If somebody wants to sort of is a bit interested in something, I'll do a bit of research and dig a little bit deeper to find it. Okay, cool. Thanks, Heather. I had a feeling it'd be one of you three, Drew, Werner, or you. So I'll go check that after the stream, and we can talk a bit more about it perhaps next week. But yeah, just before, I guess, the internet destroyed everything, pictorial books like this were still a thing. Having said that, there are some beautiful images, like back cover image there. That is a nice image. Put that on your coffee table just to let everybody know that you like trains, right? Where are we now? So that was book of the week. Gosh, cutting through it now. There's actually a lot this week in my little notebook of things. See, I make notes. That's how professionalism I am at this stuff. Somebody asked me on the Behind Closed Doors if Garrett cabs were always green, and I'm sorry I don't know the answer to that, but somebody else may know the answer to that. You know me, I try and connect things together, so I said I'd ask the live stream. See, now the sleuths of good chats are coming together. So yeah, I know what I'm going to be watching afterwards. But I was asked whether the inside cabs of Garrett's were always green, and I don't actually know, to be honest with you. And just between me and the entire internet, I'm not sure I care at this point in time. Because I'm so deep in research of the geography and the locations and all this other stuff that's going on around the old Central Australia Railway up to Murray. So I'm working on the document for that one. And I am working now, specifically sort of now, well, not right now, but when I'm sort of off the stream, on what engines ran along that line, and hopefully I can add a little bit more information. I'm glad that I had a good question. Have a think about it a little bit, Zach. It doesn't have to be tonight. If you know a little bit more or know somebody who knows more, we always learn from each other here on Good Chats. So yeah, and like we just learned about this video on the Station Master's Cottage, which we're all going to go find out more on. I have not found another chicken, bacon and asparagus pie, which means I probably have to go to pick a pie, don't I? I'll be down at Mount Barker on Sunday, and I may head down to Malang afterwards, because there is a History Month walk there run by Peter Lucas from the Malang Railway Museum, and that's an hour and a half session, which is run a few sessions across the day, and so I might make it down to Malang for like the 3:30 session, which will be an hour and a half guided walk around the town to talk about some of the historic bits and pieces around there, which would be really interesting, I think, to pick up a little bit more from perhaps a railway perspective. So good way to spend a Sunday down at Railfest at Mount Barker, and then head on down to Malang, maybe via Meadows, or maybe back via Meadows. I don't know. So yeah, no, I remember I was going to actually eat the chicken, cheese and asparagus pie from Port Wakefield live on the stream, and I may actually still do that if I remember to heat it up before dinner, because it's frozen. Last question of the night as well, because it's National Volunteers Week. I just thought I'd ask, because I always get such interesting responses, I just thought I'd ask what everyone's favourite volunteer is. Like, what's your favourite volunteer that you deal with, perhaps not in everyday life, but in day-to-day life, for example? I volunteer as Walking SA's media coordinator, for example. I volunteered for Parklands Association, essentially volunteer for YouTube. But who's your favourite volunteer? My favourite volunteer, when I was asked the question, and I had to actually say the people at the front door of the hospital, all the hospitals, where you can just walk in and you can say what you're there for, and quite often they'll actually lead you there or draw you a little map or something. Just makes it so much easier and takes the stress off. Luke loves the SES, because those people are out there at all hours of the day and night in all weather. We've had them come and cut down fallen trees and stuff like that around our house over the time. People who volunteer to wash footy team jumpers. Damn, that's also a good volunteer. The people who you don't necessarily see, also the people who wash football guernseys. I think also one of the reasons I like the hospital people as well, because it's not glamorous at all. There's nothing adventurous or cool or edgy about it. And they do it just to help people, right? The St. John's Ambos are pretty cool. They're always out there, ready to do CPR when needed. Hopefully they're not needed all that often, but I do love the fact that they turn up, and 98% of the time they do nothing, and they kind of must be a bit bored, but they're there just in case something does happen, and so when the shit does hit the fan, they're ready to go. There's so many and this is kind of why I love doing what I do as well, is that it's not for profit. So sometimes when things start to veer into the sort of for-profit side of things, I get a little bit I really do want to focus on doing it to keep history alive. And that is, thanks for mentioning that too. It's one of the things I wanted to do with Outdoors Type, was to bring history and all this stuff that people keep out of the books and out of the museums and onto a new platform, particularly YouTube, which is obviously, reaches worldwide, and you do things differently, and I want to bring all of that to wider audiences. Thanks for volunteering down at the park down there, JK. Again, places like this, we all pay for train rides, or we might pay for this, pay for that, but that's essentially for the overheads that keep these places going. And when you think about it, right, there's just so many cool things in life that just wouldn't happen without people actually just doing it for no money, right? And they're often the cooler things in life. Which again, I'll loop back around and says is kind of why the volunteers at the hospitals impress me so much, because their job is not one of the cooler things in life, but it is such an essential and reassuring service, I guess. So anyway, if you can think of others that you come up with, then fire away in the chat before we wind it up, or send it through on Facebook and we can talk about that a little bit more. Okay, Station Master's house is past Tail and Bend. All right, more leads. Damn, love it. Right, we're going to wind it up now. We're going to go 45-minute warning, as they say. Starting with Y, talking towards the east. Yes, I'll work that one out, Heather. Yeah. Excellent. Well, thanks for asking. Sorry to wake you, Werner. My Flinders trip is booked. So what are the dates again? That will be Thursday. I'll be up in Patrikios, staying up in the Outco huts there, and then on Friday I'll be staying up in Maree. And then coming back via Quorn, where I'm hopefully going to catch the Pitchy Richie Explorer in the afternoon there and do a bit more filming around Quorn, probably in prep for the video that I'm doing with Jeff on the old railway station there. And in another win, I managed to work it out that I can be there at lunchtime. For those of you who have been to Quorn and you haven't tried the Japanese kitchen that's there, look it up. when you go to Quorn. It's not on the main road, and there's this Japanese kitchen there off the main road, sort of tucked away there, which is open for lunch, and it is some of the most amazing Japanese food I've ever eaten. And what makes it just even more amazing is that it's in the outback. It's seriously awesome sushi, awesome ramen, awesome donburi. Like, it's just such a special find out there. So if you're ever up that way in Quorn, think Japanese kitchen, even though you probably won't when you're up in Quorn, but get that idea in your head and go find some really awesome sushi in the outback, right? Now, I haven't transitioned over to that one yet. Oh no, Heather, watch out. Yeah, I did the Afghan last year, Zach. So awesome. Definitely do it. And when you're up there in Quorn, just remember, Japanese kitchen. Go check it out. So awesome. And there is the potential for me to do another big trip later this year. I talked about tax returns and stuff like that. And so History Hunter Down Under, if you're replaying up there in northern New South Wales, I'm coming for you, man. So if everything goes well, I'll be up there in northern New South Wales from Armidale up to the Queensland border, the Brisbane Valley Rail Trail, the Northern Rivers Rail Trail. We will explore all of that together, hopefully later in the year. Now, did I mention that I'm going to be at the National Railway Museum live in person on the 22nd of June for 2 sessions, 11 o'clock and 1:30 down there in the theatre where I'll be presenting a live Q&A on the South Mainline video that I did a couple of months ago. Thank you, Luke, for coming on board, sir. We'll see you soon. Make sure you let me know when you're in Adelaide, dude. We'll catch up this time, definitely. Karen has the curator of the Australian Orphanage Museum. Oh my goodness, the Australian Orphanage Museum actually sounds like it would actually be really important. Kingsley, again, a kind of unsung story. But wow, that could be turn out to be something really important to so many people. Hey, Aussie Rail fan, welcome aboard. You come in on the tail end, man. You're funny, Heather. Classic. All right, everybody. Enjoy your ice cream down the front of your dress, Heather. Sorry to hear. Jeremy Kemp, maybe one day again we can all ride the Afghan train together. I don't know. Is there a video out there about riding the Afghan that we can all do a virtual train ride? We will do that coming up soon. G'day, Lyle. Welcome aboard. Thanks for coming on board. But that a bit. That's all, folks. So who have we had aboard? We've had Justin Miller on board. We had Kingsley on board. Thank you, sir. We had Mr. Jaximus, who's gone to bed now. Boeing expert, who I think has also gone to bed. Good idea. Then we have JK, the producer of the show. Ree, thanks for coming on board. Luggy 111, Steve Clinks, stalwart of the show. Can you believe we've been doing this for 133 weeks, dude? Hope to see you at the National Railway Museum. Be good to put a face to the name. Who else have we had on board? We've had Zach, smart as marbles. Andy Munro, thank you for coming on board. Noel, as always, thank you for coming on board. Mr. O'Malley Tours 34 around the grounds, thank you again for coming on board and your information. We'll both go check out that Malley video from Umali or Yurgo soon. Luke's fishing, gone to bed again. Thanks for coming on board, mate. The Van couple, Dan and Amber from down south there, thanks for coming on board. Who else have we had on board tonight? Who else jumped in here? I'm just scrolling through. Sorry if I missed you. Harvey, thanks for coming on board. We've had... Oh, there's a few others. Come on. Where are we? Heather, thanks for coming on board. Go check out Come Hither with Heather's Urbex channel and Werner's Urbex channel as well. Aussie Rail fan came on board late, and Lyle, thanks for thinking about us all. We'll see everybody next week at the same time as always, 8:15 p.m. next Wednesday night. Until then, peace.